Good morning. Dell Trucker here. Just having a quick morning check-in. Got to go out and do some stuff this morning, not too long. So I will be doing a very short run here at 9 o'clock. I'm going to stop. Hopefully that works out well for people. Because I think at 9 a.m., not this one, I think at 9 a.m., Chris on the Damn Show goes, Cosmic Kyle, great to see you. Thanks for coming by. Cosmic Kyle is probably somebody I should be following and talking to more often. Hey, Commander, driving to New York, New York. I'm sorry to say, Commander, that I can tell you from having driven to New York, New York, that you will regret it. And you'll regret it, I don't know, I'm going to say about 1,000 times more if you're commercial trucking there. But good luck. I do wish you well with that. Yeah, so I just thought I'd check in. I haven't been streaming for a bit. I am doing a premiere of one of my songs tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, if people are into any of that stuff. I don't know if they are. Got a couple more I'm working on. You're available to chat out literally always. Well, Cosmic, I should like figure out where to find you on like Discord or something, because I'm an amateur fan of cosmology and astronomy, and I have dedicated my life to anything but it's what I find most fascinating. If I ever get to retire, I'll be working on it full time. Oh, plane trip. Yeah, you've driven a big rig through New York. You know what I'm talking about. Well, I'm actually going to go look at a job where they need regular hauls to the northeastern seaboard, and I may end up taking it. I don't know. We'll see what they have to say. I'm ready to go have a chat with a different company, because I have mentioned to some people I'm no longer in my previous position. I'm going to be finding a new trucking job. Don't know what it'll be exactly. I've got a couple of decent irons in the fire that I like, and there's another one I'm interested in, but it's a longer commute, so it would only work if I go longer haul with them, which I'm not as keen on. Just because it would be a lot of wear and tear on my vehicle, but also, after a 14-hour day driving for over an hour to get home rather than 20 minutes, half an hour, or even my previous job was 45 minutes, which wasn't too bad, and it was all usually not too much traffic. Just the last little bit getting to work was a lot of traffic, but that was just something I learned to deal with. I was doing that for over 3 years, so I kind of knew how to get around it. And I guess that's the thing, is whatever you do for a living, you learn how to do it. And if you're flying to New York, I'm sorry, Commander, I can't imagine that's good. I've never flown into New York. My wife and my daughter went on a little trip to help my father-in-law go to New Jersey. I went to Newark, I think. Oh, you just captured Orion, a few galaxies, the Bubble Nebula, and NGC 7000. That is awesome. Hey, Trees, good to see you. So yeah, Cosmic Kyle, definitely have to chat. And I think you make content, I'm pretty sure. Maybe you'd like to come on my channel. I do unscheduled, unplanned. I mean, I'll plan it ahead, but I don't have like a regular time slot where I do interviews, but I have had people on for interviews and chats, and I'd like to do more of that. I'd like to do more of sit down and chat to people that do interesting things, either as a job or as a hobby or what have you. I've got a few people in mind to do that with. And I often talk about like what I do in my spare time in terms of patient advocacy and whatnot. And I've found people that are interested in talking about that. And I've also found lots of people that just do interesting things and have interesting things to do. And Commander is a fellow trucker. Your setup is uninsulated garage, so closer to spring. All right, that's fair. I was just out in my garage grabbing my work gloves and stuff, and I could only find one of them. And they're frozen. It wasn't even that cold last night. I think it was minus 17. I'd have to look. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't too cold. But everything's frozen. And you can tell when you go out that it's colder than it was yesterday and the day before. Oh, it's only minus 11. It's minus 11. It's warmed right up. Hey, Zach, how are you? And Zach and I are going to collaborate at some point somehow. I don't know. Wait, I missed out on the Christmas songs. I made my own Christmas songs. But I didn't get in on Zach's. I was trying to. We talked about it. We had a plan, and I was out on the road. I was actually sleeping in my truck that night, so I had no audio equipment. It kind of fucked it all up. And it was it wasn't well planned out for me, but I'll plan it out next year. Great to see you, Zach. I was driving to New York, then taking a plane trip. Well, that Commander, I don't know. I guess maybe that's just because of like where the airports are, because I know I don't want to dox you, but I know you don't necessarily live in a giant town with a huge airport. And also, you could probably get in on a mini airplane and fly into New York, but that probably takes way longer and costs way more money. So I can totally understand that. But yeah, driving. Yeah, this sounds like a disaster to me, Commander. But enjoy yourself. Are you on the road right now, or are you just getting ready to roll? A toasty 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's even colder than here. That's pretty cold. I don't know where you're at. I don't know where you're at, Kyle, in terms of the world, where you live in the world. But I don't use Fahrenheit much, but I know that 0 Fahrenheit is a lot colder than. I should get I'm just gonna pull up a chart and see. Oh, Indiana, yeah. Well, there's been a really weird cold front moving through. And so states that usually get snow and stuff, like Indiana obviously is used to getting snow, but they're getting colder than they've been in a bit, from what I understand. I was watching a little program about it, but there is a thing right here. This is Celsius to Fahrenheit. So if I put in what I've got, it's not very cold. It's minus 11 right this minute. So that's 12 Fahrenheit. And then see, like what it was, I think last night it was minus 17. So like that's 1.4 Fahrenheit. So if I go to minus 18, that's pretty close. So it's minus 19. So it's a minus 19 is minus 2.2. So it's like really, yeah, 0 is 30. That I know. So that's why I know. So it sounds like Kyle's experiencing temperatures this morning that are closer to what we had overnight. But now that the sun's coming out and things are warming up, it's gotten pretty warm. But it's a nice damp cold. I'll say that. That's something we enjoy. And I'll tell you what. Commander says, I'm on the road and we just got out of the Burger King, which suddenly very glad for 38 Fahrenheit and 3 degrees Celsius. Yeah, well, you know what, Holly? Holly, I have no idea if I've ever talked to you about where you live in the world, and you don't have to dox yourself. But I do know that being just above freezing can sometimes be nice. Yesterday it was so warm. I was out in a t-shirt for short periods of time. 18 degrees. I don't want to close the goddamn door to the car. Well, Commander, I think I am a professional driver, and I know you are too. And I highly recommend driving with the car doors closed. I'm not up that early. I mean, I usually get up a lot earlier. Hey, Tori, morning. Good to see you. So yeah, I thought I'd just do a little show and have a chat with people. We're talking about the weather. We're talking about what's going on. So yeah. So I got my brain wrapped around some new ideas about how to work, because what I did was kind of a specialty thing. And there's other places that do it, and I may or may not find a job doing that somewhere else. We'll find out. But I also am looking at some other opportunities. It might be a little bit of a different way of trucking, and which is okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's all right to do different things, try different things, get used to doing different things. I have one of my friends in trucking, like a real world friend, has moved from one company to another. I don't know if he just doesn't like sticking in one place too long. He's tried a whole bunch of different things. He seems to like trucking, but he never seems to settle down. So I don't know. There's more than one guy I know like that that's, worked at 100 different companies. And I know people that have worked places for decades. I personally like staying places longer, because that's been my experience. But, it's not for everybody. I mean, the first couple of Decades of my life, I worked at the same company. I guess 3 almost. You haven't slept yet. I think you figured out what's triggering migraines. Oh, that is terrible. Well, I hope you get some rest, Holly. Migraines are terrible. I do not have migraines, thankfully. And Tori, if you're in Ohio, I bet. I mean, I'm not a geographer, but I believe Ohio's weather and Indiana's weather are going to be somewhat intermingled. I'm also not a what do you call them? What do you call them people on the TV to tell you what's going on? Hey, Top. Nice to hear a hello. I'm well. I hope everyone else is well. Please, other than Holly, who's already said having migraines, but hopefully you'll get some rest, because I know that it can stop even if you're resting. You're not really getting rest if you're in that much pain and discomfort. So yeah, it's a meteorologist. That's the thing I was thinking, and meteorologist is one of those funny words where you want to know, is this about meteors? Is it about meat? And no, it's about the weather. The longest you stay in a job is a year, and they all say have an attitude problem. I don't. I mean, I have an attitude problem towards certain things, but it's not usually towards work, unless the work is really terrible. And I have had jobs that were not so great. I was only really in one job where I didn't like it. And I got to leave there quickly. And I was glad. The job I had, I really liked the job. There were some aspects of it that weren't perfect. I was leaning towards just doing something like that forever, but when things change, you just gotta you gotta find a new way of doing things, and that's what I'm doing. And I guess that's I was thinking about, do I have a topic today? Is there something I want to talk about? I just want to sort of shoot the shit and chat, which is mainly what I'm doing today. But my main way of being is to not be upset with the little things, but be upset with the big things. Be upset with the things that really count, and what's worth fighting for. And I've been thinking about that a lot, just in terms of how we currently are in a political turmoil, because my country doesn't have. I mean, it's not that we don't have a leader. There's one there, but there's gonna be a shakeup in our political leadership in the next few months, basically. In the U.S., they've just they're just going through the last few bits of work to get their new gently used president back in place, who's had a hiatus from the job for a while. I guess he had some legal troubles of one kind or another. I'm not really sure what's going on there. It sounds like if you get elected president, you don't have to suffer any consequences, which is interesting. So, but one thing I like to do, if I'm not doing a job anymore, is not have a temper tantrum about it, but to professionally look for a different situation, which I think is what we should all do. And I've been thinking about how you don't like bosses, Zach. Well, you know what? You should run your own company then. Like being rich means being rich does mean no consequences, because you don't have to be the president to hire a bunch of really good lawyers. It's one of those things that people just don't like to admit, that we have a society that is literally built around people saying that everyone gets a fair shake, but the system is literally built that way. Jim Bob 2 times. Yes, thank you. This is my Star Car hat. I'm not the biggest fan of Daimler products in general, but the classic old British Columbia built Western Star 4900 is one of my favorite trucks out in the world there. And they were a nice truck. I think things have changed at Western Star as Daimler's taken over and Freightlinerized things. But that having been said, I don't have a problem with new trucks. I have a problem with shitty built trucks. And that's, that's a conversation for another day. I have talked about having some of my trucker friends come on for a chat, and I have a bunch here, so maybe we'll come on and have a trucker chat, and I don't like everyone will leave. So, and I don't know if I know Jim Bob 2 times, because I don't know if that's not actual Jim Bob, I'm assuming. Oh, you're subscribed to me. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jim Bob 2 times. I appreciate the subscription. I haven't checked how many subs I have, but I am on my way to the 169 sub special. Hey, Unfinished Journey, good to see you. So once I get 169 subs, I will schedule and have on a few folks for a panel discussion just about what it's been like hanging around with Al Trucker for 169 subs worth of time. I'm at 164. That's awesome. Thanks very much, Jim Bob, 2 times for letting me know. I appreciate it. Well, I was going to do a 69 sub special, and I said I would do it, and I hit 69, and then I was busy. I got sick. Things went wrong. And then I hit 100 subs, and I didn't do a 100 sub special because I was really sick. And then, and then life got at me. I kept on rolling. I got back to work after being sick for 3 months. That was kind of a big, kick in the pants. Seeing what I couldn't do after being sick, but what I can do, and I'm doing a lot better now. I don't think I can say, oh, nice, Zach. I don't know if I should say that out loud, but I guess it is. I don't want to tell you what 170 is, but I'll let you guys do the math. Anyway, yes. I don't know why. I don't know why we got to the point that we're all children with, 12-year-old sensibilities and senses of humor. But yes, there's nothing funnier than a crass sexual innuendo or, whatever you get from. This is sexualized numerology, maybe? I'm not really sure what it is. Anyway, I guess I get most upset with the things that really count, the things that try to diminish people and take us down and get rid of our power and our meaning as humans. And that's a terrible terrible thing to do. Hey, purple rhymes with oranges here. Purple, is today your you have a show I think every Wednesday, so great to see you, Purple. And if you're around in the afternoon, Purple Rhymes with Orange has a great panel show pretty much every Wednesday, I think. And it's a great discussion. And there's always like sort of a topic, but the conversation always goes all sorts of different directions. And it's a great show to listen to. And it's a great show to be on. I've been on it a couple of times. So Commander's been talking to us for 10 minutes and has been stuck at the same red light the whole time. Because that's what it's like to drive to New York. Yeah, it's basically, you might as well, like, if you want to know what it's like to drive to New York and your car's parked in front of your house, just go sit in it. Just go sit in your car with the doors closed. And don't even turn it on because you don't need to waste gas. And just sit there, and that's what it's like to drive to New York. You sit there like 8-9 hours, and then you just, lock your car up, go back inside the house, and it'd be just like you drove to New York City. And that's how fast you would move. It's a perfect simulation. And anybody who's driven to New York knows what I'm talking about. You live in Twin Cities, Minnesota. Route 169. Every time I hear the name of that highway, my inner 12-year-old says, "What, only one?" 169. Yeah, I mean, like, Twin Cities is like, I mean, it's a smaller center, but it's not that small, right? Yeah, there's that's great. My finished journey. There seems to be a few Minnesotans. Minnesota, is that how you pronounce it? I can't remember. That I see on YouTube, including, I can't remember if Purple Rhymes with Orange is in Minnesota or is from Minnesota, or lives near Minnesota. But I know purple somewhere in the sort of North Midwest, somehow. And yeah, and there's another my unfinished journey I see around lots of different chats, and there's another person that I see from Minnesota all the time. Thank you, Purple, for posting your stream. I'm very bad at modding for myself. So if you're a mod here, just go ahead and mod away. Shill your own shit, shill other people's shit. I'm a big fan of a lot of people's shows. I've done a bad job of following them. I've been all over the place recently. I've had a lot on my mind. So I've been in and out of people's streams, but I you know, and I've been able to get on to Slim's show a couple of times, which has been fun because Slim's always got some fun shit to look at. You're in Minnesota. You lived in 4 different states, and only Minnesota has felt like home. Well, you know, I can understand that, and I know people will jokingly say some of those northern states that are bordering with Canada and have Canadian like sort of population densities feel a little bit more like Canada light. I've heard people say that, and I do. Yeah, absolutely, Zach, do that. Yeah, and Zach, I saw in your Discord channel you got some new music coming. And I heard I won't like play it or anything, but there's a demo, sort of a little demo Zach's got. He's got some music coming. It's going to be fun to listen to. St. Cloud's, an hour and a half north of the Twin Cities. Okay. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm trying to think I think if I've been to Minnesota, I've only been in and out of it. I haven't been in like I've passed through it going somewhere, but I haven't been down into like what do you call Minneapolis is the big city there, right? I haven't been there. That's what people mean when they say the Twin Cities, right? And people say Minneapolis, St. Cloud, which I guess means like not the rural area surrounding all of the rest of Minnesota. I think MC Tune's in Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. I think Minneapolis is where he's from. Oh, you're making a parody of Nickelback. How you remind me, it's about Jesus being passive aggressive. Yeah, well, I mean, Jesus was a lot of things. He was probably not a real person, but you never know. Twin Cities for 25 years. So yeah, so Purple, you know Minnesota well then. I've lived in the same province my whole life. But Ontario's so big, like there's different parts of it feel way different. I'm a big fan of Northern Ontario, which is probably a lot closer to like rural Minnesota in terms of terrain and stuff. But I don't mind living where I live. I live down in the Great Lakes. I mean, most of Ontario is touching the Great Lakes. So, I mean, a bunch of it touches the Arctic Ocean too. So, but yeah, Ontario's really big and has a lot of different terrain. But the parts that I like the most are the parts I enjoy the most are the parts going up along the Superior Shore. And I really like the Northern Ontario, like the inland lakes of like the mid-Northern Ontario, are sort of my favorite geographical features. But that's, that's a personal opinion. But anyway, I'm going to be wrapping the show up in about 2 or 3 minutes here. So I've just been shooting the shit here, talking about Minnesota, talking about driving to New York City, which I hope Commander is rolling now a little bit, maybe 6-7 inches further along than they were before. But yeah, it's a good short show. I'm getting ready to go down and talk to at least one company about what kind of driving job they have. So I'm ready to go for that. Hopefully I don't look too truckery today. I didn't want to look like a cosplay trucker. I'm just wearing a normal thing that I would wear for trucking, so like my trucker cap and a nice little. I got the snap front shirt on here. You know, the stuff that I usually wear. I am wearing my cap belt buckle, but I wear that every day. God, diesel power can't be beat. That's a conversation we could have on here. Every state you've lived in has touched the Great Lakes. Minnesota is littered small to tiny lakes. Yeah, Minnesota and like Northern Ontario are very similar terrain, kind of on either side of Lake Superior. And Northern Ontario is just absolutely. If you look at like just a map of Northern Ontario, there's like 3 roads. And some of the roads are ice roads, but there's like 3 roads. The ice roads are in like a dotted gray, and it is just lakes and rivers and streams all over the damn place, all the way up to the Arctic Ocean. Absolutely beautiful country to go over and to fishing and whatnot. That's my alarm telling me I got 2 minutes to get the fuck out of here. So, because I'm planning to leave at basically at 9:00. So I'm going to be super early for my appointment and have time to get my gear organized in case I need any. So yes, 2-minute warning. 2-minute major for fighting, or 2-minute minor. What is it? I can't remember. I think it's a 5-minute major. And it's 2-minute minor. But you don't want to get a 5-minute. You don't want to get a 5-minute penalty. 2-minute penalty is fine. You want a crew to sneak out at 3 a.m. to move the Canadian border south 300 miles. So, all right, I'll end on that. Purple, thanks for bringing it. I walk on the treadmill, and so what I do is like I have a little TV. My wife bought a TV that was like on sale for like $100 a couple of years ago, and said, "Let's have this for the gym." So I have this little tiny TV strapped to the wall. And thank you, my unfinished dreams. So I have this TV in front of the treadmill so I can watch whatever just to entertain myself. I'm on the treadmill. It's a little boring, right? So sometimes I just pick a movie. Sometimes I was watching Doctor Who episodes from, I don't know, like 20 years ago or whatever. But I've been enjoying those. But I was just like, I'll take a break from Doctor Who for a little bit, and I'm gonna watch just a movie. And I saw the first one up. It's just like you might like Super Troopers 2. I think it's on the Disney Channel. I'm not sure. But my wife and my daughter are watching. They're binge watching stuff on Disney Channel. But I go on to my profile and it's like, you would like this. And I was like, well, of course I would like Super Troopers 2. I like Super Troopers 1. Really, really stupid movies. But funny as fuck, like, and just over the top and just, just really, really dumb shit. But the premise of the movie is that somehow the Vermont-Quebec border was fucked up. And they made a mistake like 300 years ago, and basically that Vermont's taking back this little 800 acres of Quebec that was theirs, and this town's in it, and the highway that runs through it. So they basically set up a Vermont State Patrol up there, and that's the premise of the fucking show. So if you have Disney and can get that show, I've watched about half of it. It's been pretty funny so far. As a Canadian watching the jokes about the relationship between Canada and the US, it's kind of funny. And I think given the current political situation and the seriousness of having Trump try to impose tariffs and stuff, I think there's a lot going on there. And I will say a show that I will be on this weekend on Sunday, I think it's Sunday afternoon. I have to double check. Justin from the Yahooligan from Skeptic Spin is going to have me on, and Joe from Kentucky Atheist on. We're going to do a panel show about politics on the day before Trump takes office. So probably we'll talk about those issues a little bit. And, interestingly, having American and Canadian politics in a little bit of a transition makes for a lot of interesting conversation. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Purple. There's a town. The Canadian border runs through the public light. Well, there you go. And you know what? There's been some funny stories. The 19th is Sunday. Okay. Yeah. So that's the right day. Is that the day he takes office, or is it the 20th he takes office? So anyway, Holly, that's the day. That's the day I'll be in there. And Holly, next time I'm thinking I will make you a mod here, because we mod together over at Maya's channel, and I would make everybody a mod. I just I'm not very technically astute with this, and it means I have to leave one program and go find another one, and I've got to get going. I've already gone 2 minutes over. Brainless, shut your pie hole, man. I'm not going to hear any of that. I'm really sorry that we're going to have to take over the U.S., but I hope they're ready for good maple syrup. I'm sorry, but Mrs. Butterworth is going to fall, and the maple syrup and the birch syrup are coming in. Thanks very much, Zach. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. I appreciate the camaraderie in the community. I appreciate having some people watch me here. It's great. I know I have a super small channel as they go, but we got good people here, and just about everybody that comes is a content creator, and And Cosmic Kyle, don't know if you're still here, but I'm going to try to reach out to Cosmic Kyle and get chatting with them and have them on the show. And if they leave Texas and Florida out, well, I don't. You know what, Purple? One of the places I talk to has a regular run to Florida, and I don't know if I'd want to do that or not. But it might not be so bad. The run from Ontario to Florida is pretty good. And if I ramble on, things will go on way too long, and we can't do that. So, thank you, everybody. Have a great day. 10-4, I'm out of here. Oh, hey, Carrie. Yes, have a great day. Great to see everyone. Thanks so much for coming by.